Okay, so I'm going to research cybernetics because that's a topic that's always been interesting to me. So usually what I do is I just find news articles about recent developments in cybernetics. I usually just do a straight Google search of whatever I'm looking for, and it usually brings me to a Wikipedia page. I usually start there just because Wikipedia has a vast amount of information. Doesn't necessarily mean it's accurate. I do know that it's not always accurate. It just gives me a good brief overview of what I want to look at and the routes I want to take looking through cybernetics or anything else I may be looking at. One aspect that I always like about cybernetics is the robot or the prosthetics being controlled by a neural network. So usually what I'll do is after here I'll look up. I'll go to Google again. I do most of my researching on Google just because it's the best one out there. Their algorithms are the most advanced from what I've seen. They're the best. Which is why I always use it. And Google also has a scholarly side to it. So like for right now, I'm going to look at recent developments for cybernetics. And that's just because cybernetics and any of these kind of topics are changing on an ever daily basis. So I'll pull up the scholarly articles in a new tab and I'll get that in a minute. Usually what I'll do is I'll do advanced search. Oh wait, no, not advanced search. I will do search settings. Nope, that's not it. I'm trying to remember. There we go. Click tools, and I'll do within the past week, just because it is forever changing. And I'll usually look through here, look at where these things are coming from, stuff like that. Sometimes what will happen is I can't always find anything I'm looking for, so I'll end up looking for a similar topic that can easily lead into it, because cybernetics, not many people know the word cybernetics or know exactly how wide of a topic it is, so it won't be tagged in everything. So I'll sometimes look for I'll sometimes look for an article that is integrated, that is under the cybernetics realm, but not necessarily classified as it. So like I'll search I'll search robotic prosthetics, except prosthetics. There it is. And here we find one from last year. Granted, it is a year old, but it'll put me on the right track. And from my research and from what I've read, the New York Times can be slightly biased. But in stuff like this, I've realized that, especially in like the realm of technology, they're just putting the information out there. They're not necessarily going to put a spin on it and make it look any which way. And you notice that I'm keeping all of my tabs open. I always open new tabs purely so I can keep track of what I'm doing, and I can go through and look at everything I've looked at. And it also makes it also helps me keep organized because I can see which tabs came from which Google search, and everything like that.
This man creates software.
One thing that annoys me is ads. They're extremely annoying. And usually what will happen is while I'm researching, something within the article will catch my eye, and I'll look at a specific thing within the article. So like here I might look at how it's mapping the brain signals to what the arm needs to do. Or I'll take something and Google a specific piece. Again, notice how I'm opening a new tab. Usually I try and usually I don't go on to the library website, just because it is mostly scholarly articles, and it takes a while for scholarly articles to get published in the technology field, and it's forever changing. So by the time it does by the time the articles do come out, it's already obsolete. And so the reason why I chose this link is because, well, in the New York Times article it said Johns Hopkins made it, so why not go to the place who made it and look at everything like that, because they'll have the most technical information on it, which is what I like. And you can see here they have all the different sensors and everything like that. You can see the technical and the general specifications of the arm and everything like that. You can see how it's attached. And then it may also give you some more links. But for me, I want the virtual integration environment because I'm a computer science major, so I want to know how the software works, not so much the hardware. I'm a software person. So what this looks like is that this virtual integration environment is used for basically training someone to think a signal like what their hand would do, and this virtual integration environment will allow them to see the hand actually doing it. So not only is it allowing the person to train and become better adapted to having a mechanical arm, as it also allows the algorithm to learn how the person thinks. So saying, hey, I want to pick this pencil up or something like that, which is extremely important, because when they attach the arm to the person, the algorithm has to know that when someone says pick up, it means squeeze and lift the arm. It doesn't mean just pick up the entire arm. It has to understand like everything tiny about the whole, how each finger needs to move, everything like that. And that's what this algorithm is trying to interpret from the brain. So usually from here, or well, what I research from here is I'll research the virtual integration environment. For not the best at spelling, but it did autocorrect, so I'm fine. And here's a PDF one from Johns Hopkins. And here's a actual paper that it looks like it was written by the people who did this. Represent for neuroprosthetic devices. You can see here that they tell you which software they use. MATLAB is good for the graphical interface, stuff like that. Here's a chart of how the digital and analog signals will interact with each other. If I was writing a research paper, I'd probably tie this chart in, cite it, and then explain what each of the different points are. It'll give me a good point to consistently reference throughout the entire paper, because this looks like it has an overall it has everything that you could explain throughout the paper. Is very all-inclusive. That's what I was looking for. Here they do a brief analysis of the nervous system and explains how it will get from how they'll be translated from neural signals into electrical signals and then into movement. At least that's what I would assume just by looking at the pictures and scanning and everything like that. If I was actually writing a paper on this, I would go through and read the entire article. But I'm not, so I'm just scanning. Here you can see that they have everything like that. Myoelectric decoding. So during clinical research, non-invasive is acquired from scanner. So the way they acquire the brain signals is they use electrodes placed on the head to figure out, and so then whenever the brain says move my hand, it'll fire signals out between 80 and 500 megahertz, or well, it sends out signals. Yeah.